y'all. Hey, welcome to my channel, man. My name is Def Finesse. You can call me Def, that's cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Fuck all the introductions. I want to talk about friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is friendship? Who are your friends? You know, because I think that's a problem that a lot of people have in the society. Sometimes it's just figuring out who's your friend and then who's just around you just to use your energy, or who's just there for the laughs and the jokes and shit. But when shit hit the fan, they don't want to be around, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and use this show right here as a backdrop. Now, y'all remember this show, right? This is a funny-ass show. Funny-ass show. I think this show is a classic, straight up. Everybody Hates Chris. Straight classic. When Chris Rock dies, everybody gonna jump on this show. Like, for real. The show is really gonna blow up, you know? For those of y'all that haven't seen the show, it's basically about a young black man named Chris. His family lives in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and then he goes to an all-white school called Tatalia, and the show is just about all the things that happen, all the funny things that happen to him, as far as trying to get a girlfriend, as far as his first kiss, as far as just different situations, getting jobs. Just all the stuff that he got into. It was a really funny show. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest watching that. Anyway, so for those of y'all who've seen the show, I got a question for you guys. Who was this nigga's friend? Like, his best friend throughout the entire show? Now really think about that question. Think about it. Who was this nigga's best friend? A lot of y'all probably think it's this nigga right here. This little bitch ass nigga. But my thing is this though. Again, for you, those of y'all that haven't watched the show, this was basically Chris went to an all-white school. So ain't nobody was fucking with him. This was the only kid that would even talk to him. So some of y'all think just because of that, oh, that's his friend. They walk together, they talk together, blah, blah, blah. But here's my thing. All this walking, all this talking, you know, all this shit. And at any time this nigga shows up, where you at? You get what I'm saying? All this walking and talking about sports and talking about movies, but every time you had to be there as a friend to throw hands or to just de-escalate the situation, to diffuse the situation, you was never there. You was literally running away. Think about it. Like, I was watching this show the other day and I was like, man, why didn't they have an episode where Chris just cuts Greg off? Like, that would have really showed some character growth. Because Greg was not his friend. This is not just something I think. This is a fact. Any motherfucker that's around you and is always talking to you and all this other bullshit and talking about nonsense, and then shit hits the fan for you and they disappear on you, it's not your friend, bro. Period. They are not your friend. Look at this nigga, man. Look at him. He's looking at you. He's telling you. Look at his face. He's telling you, you know I'm a piece of shit, right? You know I'm a piece of shit. Listen, I'm a TDF. Y'all seen that shit in the intro. I'm a troublesome Def Finesse. Listen, as a TDF, you gotta cut all the Gregs out of your life. I got one Greg I can think of right now that was in my life. I remember ninth grade year, right? I went to a school. It was the ninth grade center, and every morning you had to go in the gym, and then when the bell rang, everybody left the gym and you went to your class. So on this particular day, me and somebody I thought was a friend at the time, we're coming out of the gym, and I don't remember if one of the guys had approached him and said something to him and I jumped in, or if the dude was talking to me and I said something back to him. But anyway, I ended up getting into a shoving match between two niggas. Both of these niggas bigger than me. Both of these niggas taller than me. So you already know how that was going. I mean, I was looking like a bitch, straight up. You know what I'm saying? They was pushing me back and forth and shit. I finally had enough, and I pushed one of them back. I promise you, I knew I was about to get my ass whooped. This nigga, when I pushed him with all my might, he took 2 steps back. And he just looked at me and smiled. Ah, shit. But the whole time this was happening, I remember wondering to myself, like, where's my friend at? Like, what's going on? What's he doing? So after I pushed the dude back, a teacher must have said something and they got broke up or whatever. And I remember walking with my friend or whatever, and I asked him, I'm like, yo, why don't you jump in? And I will never forget what this nigga told me. This nigga said, I thought you guys were playing. He thought we were playing. Nigga, 2 niggas is shoving me, I'm shoving them back. Nobody is smiling. And you think we playing. Bro, in that moment, I just remember looking at him and I understood. Bro, if I ever get into any situation, this nigga ain't gonna be there to help out. He's just not that type of nigga, you know what I'm saying? I don't blame him, I'm not mad at him, but it's just, you gotta understand, you gotta just take shit for what it is. I'm getting shoved by 2 niggas, both of them bigger than me, taller than me. You letting it happen, talking about some, I thought you guys were playing. Well, the thing is this, though. I'm not saying you're supposed to jump in and get your ass with me, but I mean, at least try to stop it, try to break. Like, this nigga was acting like this shit wasn't happening in front of him. That's what I'm saying. This nigga was a Greg. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. He was a Greg. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we talk about Naruto and all these other animes and shit and these movies, oh yeah, he be there for you. He talking, he smiling hard as shit. Yeah, he loves that shit. He talking about that shit. But as soon as it's time to throw hands, and prove yourself as my friend, as my loyal friend, you talking about some, I thought you guys were just joking. I thought you guys were playing. Bro, I understood in that moment that me and this nigga were not friends, bro. But anyway, going back to the show, Everybody Hates Chris. Who was this nigga's real friend throughout the entire show? If we know it's not Greg, then who's it gotta be? It's simple, bro. If you think about it, it's simple. Drew little ugly ass, bro. Think about it. Do you think Caruso, or for y'all who don't know who Drew is his brother, his younger brother. I know in this picture, Drew looking like his older brother and shit. That was another dynamic that made it funny. Basically, his younger brother, Drew, Chris's younger brother, Drew, was getting all the girls. He was bigger, he was taller. This nigga Chris was having to wear his little brother's hand-me-downs and shit. But anyway, do you think Caruso would have been able to do the shit that he was doing to Chris if Drew had been there? Think about that. Drew would have understood what it was immediately. It's time to throw hands. Immediately. Hell, there was an episode where another black dude started going to Talia. That nigga Caruso fell back. Chris and the other black dude were basically bullying this nigga, bro. You gotta know who your friends are. There's some niggas that are just there to just talk about shit, you know what I'm saying? Talk about sports, talk about current events, talk about music. Oh yeah, they'll talk a whole lot. They'll spend 8 hours talking to me about that shit, bro. And as soon as you get into an altercation, they are nowhere to be found. Quiet as a mouse. They ain't gonna say shit. Back to the Greg that I was talking about, my Greg in my personal life. The nigga really said that shit. He said, I thought you guys were playing. Essentially what he's saying is, that's not my problem. I'm a bitch ass nigga, didn't you know? You didn't know I was a bitch ass nigga? But anyway, Drew would not have let that happen. Why? It's not because Drew is big and all this other bullshit. It's because, well, first of all, that's his brother. But secondly, they're loyal to each other. They're not there to just talk about sports and all this other bullshit. If Chris gotta throw hands, Drew's finna throw hands, and vice versa. Chris, especially Chris being the older brother, if he seen Drew in some shit, Chris would jump in. So that's the whole point, man. Know who the fuck your real friends are. Know who's not your real friend. Know who's there to just talk to you, joke around with you and shit. And that's all they're there for. And know who's actually there, who's got your back, who, if you get into some shit, you can actually count on it. Because in this society, bro, there's a lot of bitch ass niggas. Alright, y'all, man. Y'all be easy, man. I'm out. All right, y'all. Real quick before I go, I just want to touch on what being a troublesome deaf finesser or TDF is all about. Basically, being a TDF boils down to this: your level of wisdom. And wisdom is something that you gain mainly from the Bible, but you can also gain it from other things too. But the main source of wisdom is the Bible. Basically, if you're a wise person, then you understand just all the everything that's wrong with the society, all the finessing that's going on as far as what the media tells you, what the education system is telling you, what politics tries to tell you. You know, when you have a certain level of wisdom, you can't be finessed. So being a troublesome deaf finesser is about having wisdom and then having that accompanied with knowledge. And once you have those two things, you're automatically troublesome. I mean, you're troublesome to anybody that is trying to fuck you over or that is fucking you over, pretty much. You get what I'm saying? So that troublesome part of being a TDF I didn't put that in there just to show niggas that, oh, yeah, I feel like I'm troublesome, I'm a badass on this, and that. No, the troublesome is just kind of just you acknowledging that your level of wisdom accompanied with your level of knowledge is gonna automatically make you troublesome for the people that want to keep you at the bottom, want to keep fucking you over, playing you and shit. So that's basically, I mean, for the most part, that's what TDF is about. All right, y'all be easy. Y'all be safe, man.